Okay, while Daisha's writing down that answer, what are two hormones, one that leads to milk production and one that leads to milk ejection during reproduction? Great. Prolactin is the first one. Remember, lactin is like lactose, so that's milk production. Second one. Not estrogen.
Progesterone. Yeah.
A hint, during childbirth, this is one of the, I have to record myself for grads. For milk ejection, one of the hormones is released, the second one is released during pregnancy when you're giving birth. It sounds like the name of a drug.
Anybody got their package in there today?
Yeah.
No?
Girl. Progesterone.
No, you already guessed that.
I thought I said progesterone.
It sounds like a drug. The reason that this is released is to
Wait.
soothe pain.
Is it start with an F?
No.
It start with an M?
No.
E?
Prolactin.
We already got that.
A?
Wait. The emphasis word. What's the other?
That's number 3.
Yes.
Oxytocin.
Good job, Stacey. Oxytocin. Oxytocin. Remember, oxytocin is released during uterine contractions and also causes milk ejection from the breast during childbirth.
Yeah. I wanted to say. So you got what STD that sound like?
Oxycontin
I never
That's a
heard.
or oxycodone.
Okay. Next STD you guys have heard of. Raise your hand. Gonorrhea. Silent crazy. What's your name? How do you write it? If you don't know how to spell it, don't say it. So spell it. Gonorrhea.
GIRRH.
Nope.
No. Wait, how did that read?
GONORRHEA.
Good job.
GONORRHEA.
Wart.
Chlamydia.
Pardon the interruptions. I need the following students to the front office: John Terrell Bowles, Raven Skinner, Ajay Evans, and Mia.
LAMYDA.
And chlamydia. We're going to pause there because we're going to learn about a lot more, and I can see that some of you are using your resources, which is excellent, but I want to move our class forward so that we can learn the details about those STDs. So our objective for today,
People outside.
okay, Jayla, go ahead. I saw her hand first. Daisha, find the CD. Okay, Jayla, go ahead.
I can't take the lid back on. Students will be able to analyze descriptions of various STDs and describe the symptoms of the disease as measured by on STD.
Great. So we're going to start today by first having you hand in your fertility cases from yesterday. Then I'm going to give you a brief introduction to STDs using some statistics. Then we'll play a quick game on STDs. And then lastly, I'll have you start looking at some stations, and I'm going to have you look for very specific pieces of information that are the most useful things for you to know about the most prevalent STDs. So take out your fertility cases so I can collect that. And while I collect that, you can start to read these statistics that are up on the board. The cheat copy suggestion.
I got it. I mean, I need more time.
Mine gonna be late too.
I'm having a hard time. I think I'm gonna feel your legs.
Wait. For those of you turning in late, I would strongly suggest you do that extra credit then and create your own case. I will also accept that.
Like just the numbers we got.
No, No, you have to create a story too. Okay, so let's look at these statistics pretty briefly. We have chlamydia. How many cases were reported in 2014?
1,400. Oh, 1 million.
Yeah.
1,447,789,000.
So this rate for chlamydia has increased by almost 3% in the last 2 years. So we're looking at 2014 data because that's the most updated right now that I can find on the CDC website. Gonorrhea, how many cases are there?
Can you say that number?
This one?
Yeah.
1,441,789 cases. How about for gonorrhea?
350,600. 350,000 is 60.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's increased by 5% over from 2013 to 2014.
Are we supposed to be writing this down?
No, this is for your knowledge.
Alright.
Syphilis, we have about 20,000 cases, and that rose by 15% from 2013 to 2014. And then we have the secondary type of syphilis, which is congenital, and that has a smaller amount of cases, but we won't focus on that one. Next, I just have some more general STD statistics before we play our game. We'll popcorn them, so each of you will read a bullet point. Timothy, read the first one.
Young people aged 15 to 24 account for 50% of all new STIs. Or let's see. Yeah, I'm right there. STIs, although they represent just 25% the sexual experience population.
And to clarify, STI stands for sexually transmitted infection. Okay, popcorn someone.
They
Both young men and young women are heavily affected by STDs. But young women face the most serious long-term health consequences. It is estimated that undiagnosed STDs cause 24,000 women to become infertile each year. Popcorn.
Teachers, your lunch is here in Mr. Cherry's office. At your lunchtime, you can come to Mr. Cherry's office.
I am getting on y'all Cadova.
Hey, what's that word?
Human papillomavirus.
Papillomavirus, HPV, is the most common sexually transmitted infection. 13.
Okay, popcorn someone for the next.
Over 14 million people acquire human papillomavirus annually. Nearly every sexually active adult will get HPV at some point in their life.
Ooh, popcorn day. Popcorn day.
Oh, popcorn, Timothy.
He just read first.
We skipped
Go
well.
for the team.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There are HPV strains that increase the risk of future cervical and anal and oral cancers and those that cause uterus or other lesions. Popcorn.
You forgot to put it, you say 4.
Popcorn.
Slow.
The CDC makes 1 out of every 6 people aged 14 to 49 have genital herpes.
Yeah. So that's a lot of people. Count how many people are in this room right now. We only have a class of
Some guys have herpes.
we have 9 right now.
Who got the herpes? Y'all
Technically,
good. Who got the herpes?
technically based on statistical evidence, at least one person here has genital herpes. That's not I'm not saying that that's necessarily true. I'm just saying based on these statistics, that's what that will look like.
I know somebody who had.
I'm sure everyone knows someone. They just don't outwardly know it. Okay. So I'm going to give you your instructions for a game. It's very important that you follow these instructions explicitly for the game to work. I'm going to give you 2 cards. One card will have a set of directions on it, and one card will be blank. The set of instructions on your one card, that's for you. It's personalized to you only. I'll hand them out randomly. Do not show anybody your card. There may be a symbol or a letter or a number on them. Do not show anyone your card or tell them what's on there. the blank card is for you to write someone's initials on. So the way this game will work is you will all stand up, not yet. You will all be standing up and you will go around and shake the hands of 3 people. The person whose hand that you shake, you'll have them write their name on their blank card.
The third person. They gotta write
So,
their name.
to be very clear, you have 2 cards. One card has writing on it, and on that card, you keep that secret. You'll put that in your pocket, you'll fold it, it's very small. That card you don't show anybody. When you go around and shake the hands of 3 people, after you shake your hand, so say I came over, I shook Jalen's hand, Jalen's gonna sign my blank card with her first name. So she's gonna write Jayla on my card. We'll do that until every person is shaking the hands of 3 people, and then we'll sit down. So you're following your instructions on your card explicitly.
Every hand you shake, you write your name down.
Correct.
You giving us the card?
Yes.
Okay.
What if somebody comes shake your hand? You gotta write their name down.
Yeah.
Got
Because
one.
then it takes 2 people to shake your
All
hand.
this, all this, this.
Well, I thought we did.
Okay. Okay, this is your blank card. And here's one card.
Yeah,
So we can look at that.
Yeah, that's great.
I did.
Here's your blank card. Here's one card.
Oh, God. I put it on the man. Look. I promise you, in that hour over, I'm changing back out.
This is your blank card. Take one. This is one card.
I like to function, whether it's bad or good. I don't care if they hit me in the trash.
Sign the card.
I'm just like, I don't care.
Okay, this is your blank card. Sign. Choose one card.
They got names on there.
If they ugly, why you put it on that?
Regina, choose one card out of this pile. Regina.
I already got.
Yeah, one is blank, one is your instructions on. This is your blank card. Choose one card here.
You good, bro?
That was on my directions.
I'm showing you your directions.
Yeah.
They didn't say look at me, it said look at somebody.
You don't know what my directions.
They said
You
look at
don't
somebody.
really think about my directions.
Travail Porter, please report to the nurse's office. Travail Porter to the nurse's office.
Look at this motherfucker. Don't blame me. We're both got directions.
Okay, at this time, stand up and start shaking the hands of 3 people. Once you shake their hand, write down their name on your blank card.
I ain't with that. It's an STD game. Where your parents at? What? Write your name on the
Go ahead, look.
What's your last name? Put your name in.
So why you guys sticking out like you do?
See,
I don't know what you got. You said fall. Man, I don't get it.
Well, I only got 3 names.
Check my hand.
It's only girls left.
Man, hey, come up, Sambo. You
Already got
already
it.
got him? Alright, I need somebody else. Real talk. Real hitter.
When you're done, raise your hand.
Say your name. Just be real with it.
I need to get them done.
You ain't gotta write mine down.
Okay, start to return to your seats.
Hey, someone else probably took that.
Who?
Don?
Rick Ross? Rocco?
Yeah, Rocco. Not Rick Ross.
Okay, are you ready to see what you have?
Shalom.
What you trying to say?
If your card
She doing that.
had an O, a Z, or an X on it, stand up.
You said what?
If your card had the letter O, Z,
Wait, which card? The one
or
with
X.
your hands?
yeah, the one with the words on it.
The one you gave us?
Uh-huh.
O, Z, or X?
Okay.
Wait, you talking about the corner?
Uh-huh. Okay, anyone who shook hands with these three people also stand, or these four people also stand up. If you shake hands with any of these people.
Because I did when you shook my hand. She's going there.
We all
Okay. Raise your hand if you had a card with a Z on it. Okay, Stacy, you had HIV.
I'm good.
That ain't funny, bro.
So if you shook Stacy's hand, you
Bro,
also
everybody
now have
did
HIV.
Okay.
However, if your card had a C on it, raise your hand.
I had an O.
If your card had a C on it, you used a condom. Seriously. If you had an O, raise your hand. If your card had an O, you have chlamydia.
What's that? Some told me to shake your hand. Shake your hand.
And if you have an X, raise your hand.
Oh, no.
An X, you have genital herpes.
Timothy! I
But
told
if
you,
you
boy,
have-
you will
But if you have a
Right.
C, you can sit down now. Any person with a C on their card is not infected.
Ain't that nothing on my back?
If your card says do not follow my directions, is that what you're saying?
Follow all my directions.
So you had unprotected sex.
I know.
So now you are infected with any of
All
those.
this stuff got something to do with sex, right?
So the purpose of this activity, we have a small class right now, but the purpose of this activity was to show how easily we can find disease.
Oh, we
You
sit
better
down?
be careful, man. Learn something. This show, you can't shake everybody here.
That's crazy. I wanted to shake his hand and he had HIV.
So again, the purpose of this activity was to show you that you never know what somebody has. So I was by no means suggesting anyone has an STD in this classroom, but for the purposes of this game, you don't know what anybody has, and that's true for real life. So if you choose to participate in any sort of close contact related to sexual activity, and you don't use protection, you may be putting yourself at risk for certain diseases. Yes.
I got a question, like, it don't relate to this, but what if one of us, what if we did have a disease, did you incorporate that into, like, hurting their feelings? Because what if somebody in here do got,
They wouldn't be going though.
But I'm not asking anyone to tell me about their disease.
How would they be doing?
So, Timothy, to answer your question, if anyone in this
If they
classroom,
sneeze on you, you're not gonna have HIV.
Yeah, it's not contagious.
it's not, so, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you do have a disease, I'm not suggesting anything negative. That's what your question is asking, if someone in this classroom actually does or does not have a
Yeah,
disease.
not saying that I do, I'm just saying, like, because
But the reason that this activity is okay is because I'm not directly asking anyone about their sexual histories or their actual status.
Why would that hurt somebody's
Okay.
feelings though?
because like they just be playing and stuff, and they like I got AIDS and stuff like that.
So what? I mean,
That'd be bogus. They can't.
both
Okay.
that got AIDS.
Some quick questions for you guys because I'm curious. If you had one of the diseases that are listed as your card, not as an individual but as your card, how did you feel when I revealed your status? You felt what? Okay, so you were not happy.
Me either.
What?
Nasty. You felt nasty. What you have? HIV? You had unprotected sex.
She could have.
So you got it all.
care because I ain't
Now
have
you
for
look
real.
at my hand.
But if you told me like, if you was a doctor or something, you told me I had it, I'd probably be like, hurt.
Well, I'm asking because a lot of people don't know that they have an STD. So there's a lot of STDs that have no symptoms at all, or only symptoms sometimes, which is why I asked that question, because theoretically, I could have just told you that you have that disease and done that based on medical testing. So you know your own habits, you know your own history. I'm not suggesting anything in particular, but that's a case where a lot of people do go to the doctor and they have tests run and they find that they do have an STD and they told their partner that they didn't have any STDs because they simply didn't know. So we're going to learn a little bit more about those STDs today by filling in this chart. So you have a chart in front of you that has a list of 8 different STDs on them. These are some of the most common ones. Under the category where it says, what is it? I'm going to give you a series of readings to do. I included the most important parts of the readings that I found online for each section. You don't have to write down all the information, and you only have to read the whole thing if you're curious about the information that doesn't pertain to this chart. But the information on this chart, I think, is the most important for you to know to protect yourself. So for chlamydia, what I would do is look at my reading. There's a section on the reading that says chlamydia at a glance, and then it says, what is chlamydia? On every single reading, there's a section that says, what is blank, the disease? So after reading about chlamydia, I will see that it's a bacterial infection. So I'll write that in my box, and you can write this too for your chlamydia box. Bacterial infection. And as I continue through the reading, it has some more information, like it says, it is the most common sexually transmitted bacterial infection in the U.S. About 3 million American women and men become infected with chlamydia every year. It is especially common among women and men under 25.
How many?
3 million. So that doesn't necessarily go under the what is it category, but I think that's pretty interesting. So I can put one of those pieces of information in my other section where I include information on facts, statistics, or relevant pieces of information. So in that part, I'm going to write down most common, sexually transmitted disease, instead of disease, bacterial infection. And I'm going to specify in the U.S. because in other countries it could be different. I'll keep going. I'll look at the symptoms. So when I turn the page, it has a distinct section for symptoms. And if it says there are no symptoms, so I'm going to write down normally, and that's true for chlamydia, normally no symptoms.
How you know you got it?
So you have to have a urine test. So symptoms, normally no symptoms, but if symptoms, and I'm abbreviating that, there's a long list of symptoms there. So if some people have symptoms, which they might, I would choose to write down the symptoms that relate to me as a female-bodied person. So because I'm female-bodied, I would choose about 3 out of these long lists of symptoms to include. Under here, if I was a male-bodied individual, I would write down the male symptoms because that's what's relevant to me. So for the symptoms, I said if there are symptoms, I can see, and I'll choose the ones that I think I would notice. So I would put down because there's some like abdominal pain, so I'll put that down, abdominal pain. I'll skip a few and write down bleeding between periods.
You said who? Bleeding between periods.
So if you're a male, that one wouldn't pertain to you, so you would not write that one down. And then I would put down, I guess I could say painful urination. You could write that down as another one. whole list of symptoms, I chose 3 that kind of stood out to me. And then lastly, for treatment or cure, for some of them, there are no treatments or cures. So I'm going to scroll down when I'm reading, and I see that there's some complications for my own interest. I can skim that section, but for our notes, you're going to look at the treatment, and chlamydia is a good one. There is treatment. So I'm going to write down a yes, treated and cured. So some STDs cannot be cured, they can only be treated. Treated and cured with antibiotics. So if you found out that you had chlamydia in this game, for example, you would be all good after a trip to the doctor. I will give you about 8 minutes. You can go to whichever one you want. I'm going to put all of them out, so I'll estimate about 8 minutes per station. You can move between the stations that you are interested in starting with or that are available. So I have chlamydia, genital warts, gonorrhea, herpes over here, HPV.
Do you mind if I go to the restaurant? Stop talking to me.
And HIV. I'm going to start your timer for 8 minutes per section once I see everyone with the packet, and then if you're not done, you can move forward with that packet, continuing on.
Hill, please report to the front office for early dismissal. Janice Hill to the front office for early dismissal.